Hey y'all! Before we dive into this deep dive, hit that like button, subscribe, tap that notification bell, and share this video if you're loving the vibe we're laying down. Now, let's get real. Nell Carter wasn't just a star. She was a supernova, radiating joy through her powerhouse voice, infectious laugh, and unyielding spirit. Best known for her role in the 1980s smash hit sitcom Gimme a Break, Nell had America in stitches every week. But behind the scenes, she was navigating a storm of personal struggles that would have dimmed a lesser light. Nell passed away on January 23, 2003, but her story of resilience, talent, and heart continues to inspire. So, let's celebrate the one and only Nell Carter, a true survivor who turned pain into brilliance. Early life, a star is born. On September 13, 1948, Birmingham, Alabama, welcomed Nell Ruth Hardy, the woman who'd later become the legendary Nell Carter. Born into a vibrant, working-class family, Nell grew up in a home where love, faith, and music were the heartbeat. Her parents, Edna Mae and Horace Hardy, raised Nell alongside her 8 siblings, 5 brothers and 3 sisters, in a bustling household that was never short on energy. In the segregated South, life was tough, but Nell's family leaned on their tight-knit Christian roots. Edna Mae, a devout woman, had the kids in church every Sunday, and that's where Nell's voice first soared. As a little girl, her gospel solos could hush the congregation, her voice carrying a soulfulness that felt heaven-sent. By age 10, she was singing on local radio shows, earning pocket change and local fame as Little Nell. Neighbors would say, "That Hardy girl's got something special," and they weren't wrong. School was a different story, though. Nell was bright but restless, more interested in making her classmates laugh than hitting the books. At Booker T. Washington High School, she was the life of the party, known for her quick wit and playful pranks, like sneaking into the choir room to belt out show tunes instead of studying. Her teachers saw her potential but couldn't tame her mischievous streak. Outside of school, Nell soaked up every kind of music, from Aretha Franklin to Ella Fitzgerald, dreaming of a stage bigger than Birmingham. Her older brother Bernard, who doted on her, would sneak her into local jazz clubs, where she'd watch singers command the room. Those nights lit a fire in Nell. She knew she was destined for more. By 16, she was performing at clubs herself, her voice blending gospel grit with Broadway flair. Little did she know, those early gigs were laying the foundation for a career that had changed the game, rising star from stage to screen. Nell's big break didn't come easy. It took grit and a leap of faith. At 19, she packed her bags and headed to New York City, determined to make it in showbiz. With just a few dollars and a suitcase full of dreams, she crashed on friends' couches and auditioned relentlessly. Her first gigs were in smoky cabarets and off-Broadway shows, where her larger-than-life presence and voice stole the spotlight. In 1974, she landed a role in The Musical Soon, a short-lived show that still earned her buzz for her scene-stealing performance. But it was 1978 that changed everything. Nell was cast in Ain't Misbehavin', a Broadway revue celebrating the music of Fats Waller. Her rendition of songs like Honeysuckle Rose and Mean to Me was electric, sassy, soulful, and full of heart. Critics raved and audiences gave standing ovations nightly. When Nell won the 1978 Tony Award for Best Featured Actress in a Musical, she made history as one of the few Black women to take home that honor. Broadway was officially hers, but Nell's talents couldn't be contained to the stage. Hollywood came calling, and in 1981, she landed the role that had defined her career. Nell Harper in Gimme a Break. As the sassy, warm-hearted housekeeper to the Kiniski family, Nell brought humor and humanity to every episode. Her chemistry with co-stars like Dolph Sweet and Carey Michelson was pure magic, and her comedic timing, honed from years on stage, had viewers in stitches. Lines like "Gimme a Break" became catchphrases, and Nell's larger-than-life laugh became iconic. The show ran for 6 seasons, cementing her as a TV star. She also sang the show's theme song, infusing it with her gospel roots. But Nell didn't stop there. She popped up in films like Hair, 1979, and Backroads, 1981, showing she could hold her own on the big screen. Directors loved her versatility. She could make you laugh, cry, or cheer with a single glance. By the mid-80s, Nell Carter was a household name, but fame came with a price. The Struggles, a survivor's battle. Here's where the story gets heavy, so brace yourself. While Nell was lighting up screens, her personal life was unraveling. In a gut-wrenching interview with People magazine, Nell opened up about a traumatic night that haunted her for years. On July 4th, 1965, at just 16, she was returning home from a club gig when a man she knew offered her a ride. Instead of taking her home, he betrayed her in the most horrific way. Nell recounted, "He pointed a shotgun at me, took me to the trees, and wrecked me." She stumbled home numb, confiding in her sister and brother, Bernard, who urged her to hold on to hope. But when she told her mother, Edna May, seeking comfort, she was met with accusations that cut deep. Nell said, "Her reaction left me questioning myself. What did I do? Am I a..." The trauma led to a pregnancy, and at 17, Nell gave birth to her daughter, Tracy. She tried to raise Tracy alone, but the pain was overwhelming. To shield herself from judgment, Nell and Bernard crafted a story. "I've always told people she was the product of an early marriage, but that was a lie my brother helped me concoct." Eventually, her older sister Willie, who had a stable home, took Tracy in and raised her. The trauma didn't end there. Nell carried that pain into adulthood, and it fueled struggles that threatened to derail her. In New York, the pressure of showbiz introduced her to darker escapes. At a party, someone offered her cocaine, and it became a crutch. Nell later said, "I started getting fatter and fatter and crazier. I'd eat, do the show, go home, lock myself away, and snort coke." The addiction strained her relationships and health, but Nell kept performing, hiding her pain behind her smile. In 1985, she faced another blow when her brother Bernard, her rock, passed away from AIDS-related complications. His death left Nell reeling, but she channeled her grief into advocacy, speaking out about HIV/AIDS awareness at a time when stigma was rampant. Through it all, Nell's resilience shone. She refused to let her struggles define her. Love and loss, a rocky road. Nell's search for love was as turbulent as her career was triumphant. In 1982, she married George Krenicki, a music executive, hoping for a fresh start. But Nell admitted commitment terrified her. On her wedding night, she said, "I got drunk. I wasn't celebrating as much as I was frightened about what I'd done." She knew deep down marriage wasn't her path, and her fears came true. George struggled to cope with Nell's addiction and the pressures of her fame, and by 1989, they divorced. The split left Nell feeling lost, but she poured her energy into her work. In 1990, she adopted 2 sons, Joshua and Daniel, determined to build the family she'd always wanted. Motherhood gave her purpose, but it wasn't easy. She juggled parenting with a demanding career and ongoing health issues. In 1992, Nell's health took a terrifying turn when she was diagnosed with 2 brain aneurysms. Emergency surgery saved her life, but recovery was grueling. The ordeal forced her to confront her addiction head-on. With the support of friends and her faith, Nell got sober in 1993, a victory she celebrated with her trademark humor. "I told the devil, 'Gimme a break,' and kept it moving." She later shared her wisdom, "Pray for yourself. The rest will take care of itself." But even sobriety couldn't shield her from heartbreak. In 1995, her second marriage to Roger LaRock ended after just a year, leaving Nell to navigate single motherhood and a relentless career. Through every loss, Nell's spirit stayed unbreakable. She loved fiercely, even when love didn't love her back. The comeback, shining bright. Sober and stronger, Nell staged a comeback that reminded everyone why she was a legend. In the mid-90s, she returned to TV with guest roles on Hangin' with Mr. Cooper, Touched by an Angel, and Ally McBeal, stealing scenes with her wit and warmth. Her performance as Mrs. Gordy in Touched by an Angel brought tears to viewers' eyes, blending humor and heartache in a way only Nell could. She also hit the stage again, starring in revivals of Annie and Hello, Dolly, proving her voice was as powerful as ever. Off-screen, Nell became a mentor to young actors, especially Black performers navigating Hollywood's challenges. She'd tell them, "Don't let nobody dim your light, baby. Shine anyway." Her generosity earned her love from co-stars like Thelma Hopkins, who called her a sister and a force. Nell also used her platform to give back. She supported charities for children and HIV/AIDS research, honoring her brother's memory. In 2000, she launched a gospel album, Nell Carter, Live in Concert, a love letter to her roots. The album showcased her voice, rich, raw, and full of faith, and earned praise from fans who'd followed her since her church days. Nell was thriving, but her health battles loomed. Diabetes and heart disease began to slow her down, yet she kept performing, determined to leave her mark. Final curtain, a legacy of love. On January 23, 2003, the world lost Nell Carter at age 54, taken too soon by heart disease complicated by diabetes. Her passing was a shock, a punch to the gut for fans and friends alike. Just weeks before, she'd been planning new projects, a TV pilot, a stage comeback, a second gospel album. Nell had faced so much, trauma, addiction, loss, but she never stopped fighting. Her final years were spent surrounded by her sons, whom she adored, and her chosen family of friends who cherished her. Before her death, Nell shared her wish to be remembered not for her struggles, but for the joy she brought. She told a friend, "If I made one person laugh or feel loved, I did my job." Nell's legacy is etched in every role she played, every note she sang, every heart she touched. Gimme a Break remains a TV classic with fans still quoting her lines. Her Tony-winning performance in Ain't Misbehavin' inspired generations of performers, especially Black women, to claim their space. Her advocacy for HIV/AIDS awareness broke barriers, and her story of survival resonates with anyone who's faced darkness and kept going. Nell's sons carry her spirit, with Joshua pursuing music in her honor. In 2004, a posthumous tribute at the Apollo Theater celebrated her life, with stars like Patti LaBelle singing her praises. Nell Carter wasn't just a star, she was a survivor who left the world brighter than she found it. Closing thoughts. Nell Carter's story is a testament to the power of resilience. Behind her dazzling smile was a woman who battled unimaginable pain, yet she never let it steal her light. She was a trailblazer, a mother, a mentor, and a legend who made us laugh, cry, and believe in second chances. Her voice still echoes in gospel hymns, sitcom reruns, and Broadway memories. Nell's life reminds us that even in our darkest moments, we can shine. So, next time you're feeling down, put on Gimme a Break or blast one of Nell's songs and let her spirit lift you up. Thank you for joining us to honor this old school legend. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, and tap that notification bell to stay locked in for more stories.